Okay, I'm just gonna demonstrate a corroboration of a claim I made 8 years ago. I was just searching in Google Scholar on noncommutative time, and I discovered this published article last year on the time crystal, which is considered perpetual motion, eternal motion that requires no external energy input and defies classical thermodynamic laws. And this article says that the secret of eternal motion is noncommutativity, a noncommutative quantum harmonic oscillator. It's associated with, from either position or momentum, noncommutativity, and therefore no need of spontaneous breaking of time translation symmetry. The emergence of a non-stationary behavior, aka perpetual motion, and its connection to time crystals can be explained in terms of both position and or momentum non-commutativity in the phase space, in opposition to the original breaking symmetry assumptions proposed by Frank Wilczek and A. Shepard. So this physicist is in Portugal, and co-author is in Brazil, and they have hundreds of published physics papers. So there's a lot of
what if I told you there's a clock that ticks forever? No back.
There's a lot of quantum videos about this perpetual motion discovery. So in 2017, I did a blog post saying that this discovery of the beginning of time being eternal motion was actually noncommutativity. And I cited a long con. This is a quote from 8 years ago. So it's nice that my blog post has now been corroborated by quantum physics professors 8 years later. So it's nice to know that I was actually not being just a crank. I was actually making a valid claim about noncommutativity being the truth of eternal motion that defies thermodynamics as entropy. In fact, recent claims on the observation of continuous time crystal behavior in quantum processors, atom cavity system excited by photon oscillations, and in an electron nuclear spin system show that there is vivid interest in searching for concrete experimental evidence of time crystals in nature. So of course my argument is that this is the secret of alchemy through meditation, and that's what I've gone into in detail. So here's my original blog post about it in 2017. Beginning of time finally proven non-commutative phase harmonics. I was the first one to say this. I have a response from Dr. Anirban Banyopahe. This is the letter I sent him, so I going into the whole quantum physics of non-commutativity and non-commutative phase resonance. And so this, I go into the quantum beat. Let's see if I say beat here. Beat. Yeah, quantum beating right here. mitochondrium in optimal health, quantum beating, and so when we go back to the original paper, this is a quote actually from my master's thesis right here, quoting Jean Chiron. So I'm talking about the electron and black hole have totally curved space and curved time. So that's the noncommutativity, which goes beyond scale. And so it's negative entropy as eternal time motion. Okay, so if we go back to the article, my claim that I'm making, that I made 8 years ago, the right here, I'm talking about Frank Wilczek. I blogged on the new time crystal ring from non-commutative phase that you had commented on in its initial modeling by Frank Wilczek. So who am I writing a Nirban Bandio Pi? So he had mentioned this time crystal. Okay. So I'm insisting that it's not based on, I'm insisting it's non-commutative. The secret heart of the universe is asymmetric. Time is non-commutative phase resonance. So, and then I even give some quotes about it, and this paper cites the same Seiberg-Witten map. So this, I actually give the quote that explains it. So I give several quotes to justify my claim that the perpetual motion is actually non-commutativity, and I say that the subharmonic is actually due to non-commutativity. Okay, so this was 8 years ago. Now we go back to the paper published last year. Liang, let's see if they quote Liang. Time crystals in phase space in non-commutative. So do they quote Liang? No, but they quote Alon Khan, who I, of course, mentioned in my blog post. Okay, so, and then they go into the quantum beat. So they have the same thing about the quantum beat in this article. typical low-frequency beating behavior is encountered. Is a new feature of the non-commutative ground state. So that's exactly what I've been arguing, is that the non-commutativity creates this quantum beating that then we perceive as space-time and matter. The two-dimensional approaches the classical exhibit and exhibits quantum effects as quantum beating and some loss of quantum coherence. So essentially you have this eternal motion at the foundation of reality as eternal time, but then it also has some loss of quantum coherence, and that's what creates space-time and matter. So they have this quantum beating as the core focus of their paper. So I had also emphasized the quantum beating in my blog post. The decoupled quantum non-commutative quantum beating is the dashed line. So if we expand this here, we'll see the dashed line is in the center. So you get that deeper level of reality. So let us discuss our results. The observed behavior is a natural explanation for extended time intervals in which the non-commutative quantum beating takes place. The short periodic frequency behavior turns into a quasi-periodic one. So that's what that graph is showing, due to the periodic corrections. This suggests that a connection for our results with the spontaneous formation of time crystals from atoms bouncing between a pair of mirrors is possible. Now keep in mind that when you use photons, you can then create the virtual photons will create actual real photons as resonance. And that's what the alchemical meditation is. Our results show that the non-stationary behavior associated to time crystals arises entirely from either position or momentum non-commutativity, with no need for an initial hypothesis of spontaneous breaking of time translation symmetry. The non-commutative parameters naturally give origin to periodic oscillations that resemble time crystals. Conversely, besides accounting for the emergence of such unexpected properties, the measurable oscillation amplitude driven by the non-commutative parameters can themselves be tested in order to set bounds to the non-commutative parameters. this in the context of the two-dimensional non-commutative harmonic oscillator might stimulate further attempts to experimentally test the fascinating phenomenon as time crystals. So there you go. Very, very fascinating indeed. So the quantum beating creates the time crystal, but it originates from this non-local coupled non-commutative. The non-commutative quantum beating are the dashed lines, and the external driven frequency is the time crystal behavior as dotted lines. Dashed or dotted. Let me try to see which is which. Okay, so the dotted is that one. Alright, there we go. Interesting. So the dashed are straight and the dotted is the sine wave. Yeah. So the dashed are straight like these non-commutative opposites. Does that make sense? These properties are not due to extrinsic or artificial time-dependent effects, but due to the entanglement induced by non-commutative x and y mapped by the time-independent Hamiltonian. This differs from the standard quantum mechanical configuration, in which x and y are considered decoupled. Yeah, that's fascinating. Okay. So okay. So you have this inherent non-locality as entanglement due to the non-commutativity. It's exactly what I was saying 8 years ago. And they gave a talk at the third Minkowski meeting on the foundations of space-time physics. I wonder if that's on YouTube. Connection's slow. I suppose I should email them, let them know. But they probably read my blog because I got 250 clicks on my blog post. No. Non-commutative time crystal. The material that never stops moving. Nerd alert. They're just going to talk about it. There's more people just talking about it. No, it's not chaos theory, it's noncommutativity. See, I keep telling people it's noncommutativity. And so finally I have some corroboration of my claim. It's pretty exciting. Time crystals arise in the context of the phase space noncommutative two-dimensional quantum harmonic oscillator. So a leap into perpetual motion. So because it's entangled, you can have the future and the past overlapping. And I haven't even seen this talk before. Oh, this is it. These are the co-authors of the paper. Wow. I found it. Just randomly searching. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay. These are like their students, I think. Which is good because it shows they're having people continue this research. Obviously, I need to watch this for. So they're getting into the entanglement of phase space. Here we go. Here, this is exactly the same. The noncommutative phase space. So basically you just have those opposites. So that they're talking about how it's non-local. Okay, so they're saying that the noncommutativity is more like holds up where it goes beyond the uncertainty. And of course, that's why it's the secret of alchemy as meditation. Polarized entangled photons. That's exactly what meditation, the secret of alchemy, is. So basically they're saying the noncommutativity takes you to a deeper level. And it explains cosmology as well. So we'll have to listen to this. I'll link this on the video link. 9 years ago. That was nobody's even commented on it. Well, because nobody can understand this stuff. We use it to analyze the interior of a black hole. Alrighty. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been saying. So they are students of the two professors that I just cited. There's only been one other talk. Is this one on noncommutativity? No. Okay. Anyway, I think I got my point across. That my claim from 8 years ago has now been verified. So I'm not just a crank. Well, I'm applying it for meditation, so obviously